Okay, and we're live.
Hello. That means anyone who's ready clicking in early can come in?
Yeah, but there's no one here yet, which is weird.
Don't you have to let them in? I know when I sign in, it like waits a few seconds for.
Oh no! Now we've got people turning up. You can see at the top. See on the right side. Yeah. So we've got 6 out. We've got 429 registered. That's nice.
Wow.
Yeah, but usually not that many people come.
No, about 150 come.
Yeah. Oh, 20. Okay. Oh wait, that means people are actually here. Hi everyone.
Yes. No one said hello yet.
Oh, yeah, no. We have to tell everybody. Okay, we got the regular competition of the first person to tell, and Hannah. Hannah Brocher won. Hi Hannah, how you doing? Okay, anybody else? Where are you? Let us know where you are, who you are, with what you are. Hi Sandy. Go on, just let us know where you are. It's just nice for everyone to know where everyone is. That's my thoughts.
It's fun when you like see people across the world, also in all different time zones.
Yeah, sure, 100%. Okay, Michal, Dina, Ahuva, Hannah,
London,
Rosie. Hi everyone. Just make sure you put Baltimore. Just let us know where you are. It's just fun for everyone. Brooklyn, Manchester, California, San Clemente. Sounds nice. It's swell. Hi, Dad. Gloriously Shenley.
Apparently they had snow in London this week.
They had what?
Snow in London.
Oh yeah, snow in London.
Apparently my friend says this week.
I always say in London, people for 50 weeks of the year they complain that it's too cold, and then 2 weeks a year they complain it's too hot. That's generally how it goes. Okay, people still falling in. Okay, Toronto. We've covered, I think, the main countries. We're still. Oh, we didn't even get to 9 o'clock yet. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're a minute to go.
Welcome everybody. Early birds. You're still 1 minute early, which on Jewish Israel time is actually about 16 minutes early. That's a side to turn out. One second. We'll wait another few minutes for people to pour in. How are you doing anyway, Yocheved?
I'm doing well. I had a big family shoot last week.
Yeah.
That was fun. Sun changing every minute.
Yeah. Where did you shoot?
We did Yemim Moshe, by the big grassy area at the top.
You went through the village?
I wanted to, but they were a big family party setting up with a picnic. So they were set up there and they wanted to do all the shots there.
It's dangerous to go through the I don't like going
with that many people as well. No, I wouldn't have done it.
I get very upset. I hate that because it makes.
Yeah, they've got new signs up now saying "Be quiet" and everything.
Oh yeah, because people get very upset, and then what happens? Hi Roslyn, hi Rhoda. When people get upset,
Dina, that's me. Where's your
that when they get upset and they shout at you, and it puts a hold down on the. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's not nice for the client.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Anyway, hi Rivka.
Hi, Ella.
Rivka's not gonna. She doesn't have a camera or a microphone, but she's gonna be typing away like crazy. So you can ask your questions as you wish. Okay, we'll give it another minute, and then I'll introduce you. In Yemin Moshe, actually, I saw one time that one very militant neighbor there has a balcony. And they put a sprinkler system, but I'm not joking. And I was there with the family, and they turned it on. They gave us a warning. I must say they did give us like about a 30-second warning, and then they pressed and it turned on, and it spritzed all over. Everyone got really wet. It was terrible. Absolutely. I don't go there anymore.
Really, not at all.
No,
you'll do the top area and the grass area.
So I'll go
not in the village.
Not in the village. It's not worth. Although it's so gorgeous, it's not worth. When somebody gets upset, it puts such a downer on the whole shoot. Just not worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so look, we're 2 minutes after time. So welcome everybody. I have a bunch of people here already. So Joe wasn't able to make it today. So Yocheved is filling her place, and she'll do it in her own unique style. I've introduced Yocheved before, but I'll give her another quick heads up. Yocheved came to our school when it was a physical school many years ago, and what happened at the end, once she had what's the word?
Graduated.
Thank you. When she had graduated, she started bugging me to come with me to weddings.
You actually offered me the first two.
Oh, is that true? Yeah.
Yes, I told you another photographer I knew had invited me to join a wedding, and I told you, and you said you want to come and see what it's like.
Oh yeah, I didn't even know that. So okay, great. Yocheved came, and I know I said this last time she helped us out, but I'll say it again because it's so helpful for people.
No one heard anything. We were on mute last time.
Oh really? Oh, okay. So it came. 1 second, we lost you there for a minute. Anyone else? That just okay. Is everyone got good reception here? Is everyone getting a good signal? Just give us a quick heads up. But anyway, so Yocheved came along to the first job, the first wedding for free without a camera, and she
with a camera.
You came with a camera?
The first time I assisted Sarah for the color pictures, and you brought my camera for the evening.
You didn't take pictures, did you?
No, just for fun in the dancing.
Oh, okay. So, but then after that, I think you stopped bringing your camera, yeah?
No, I brought it every time.
Your camera?
Yeah. After a bit, you said send us your pictures as well.
Oh yeah. So you kept coming. You made yourself super helpful. You didn't cost me anything. And you were really into it. So I said, come back and come back and come back and come back. And you kept coming back, you kept helping. And then after a little while, we brought you in as a photographer. And I think that's a very good lesson for everybody. If you want to get in, I keep saying that to everybody. People make such a mistake about charging, being so hell-bent on the money at the beginning. And they don't realize they're really taking a very, very long route to success by caring about money at the beginning. It's a good job. I think, in my opinion, it's a good idea not to care about money ever. But that's maybe what I'm in the situation. But especially at the beginning of your business, it is super important to not care about money, to go over and above for all of your clients. And what Yocheved did was she went above and beyond for me, and then she ended up with a job in my business, which is very rare. That was the whole reason why I opened up the school in the beginning, to bring in photographers. There was such a surplus of photographers at the end of it. So it's very rare that we brought in photographers, and Yocheved got there by just going above and beyond. So thought everyone could learn from that. Okay. I suppose we should just jump in, yeah? Let's jump in.
Yeah.
Screen, 1 second. And let me move this over to here. And so first things first, I'm just going to go through a couple of student transformations. We have, as usual, we're going to give it our 50%. So I'm going to put this out. We're going to do 50% off all of our courses, so you can grab that. And just for those of you who are interested very much in our what's it called? In our masterclass, we're going to put that up individually as well. 1 second. Let's just see where you all are. You're on the chat. Okay, fine. So just as a couple of student transformations, because we haven't had our webinar for a month now, I had about 10 or 15 students that I could have showcased. So I'm sorry if I didn't. These are the first students who came out, but we have some really lovely stories here. So this is Esther Brocher, who actually came through the school, and she went into the AMP, which is our mentorship program that goes after the masterclass. So I just wanted to show you this amazing transformation. This was the pictures. This is what she was shooting for us at the beginning. Okay, this I think was class 1. Class 2, she started playing around with Lightroom. Again, not successfully particularly, but that's not what it's about. It's about playing around, and then the success starts to come. Still, we can see she's right at the very beginning. Okay, at least she's cropping in close and stuff. Not a good background, no concept of depth of field or anything like that. Now she's really thinking, but she's messing up on small details. This really ruins the picture, but she's really thinking about the colors and the composition and stuff. Now you can see posing is getting better. She's got some depth of field there. Now the pictures are really heating up. She's got depth, she's got texture and color and good composition. She's found nice light. I think now this was the jump from the amateur camera to the professional camera. Now she got her 5D. She created her logo, but this was still not in the AMP. And then if I remember correctly, this is now after the AMP. Okay, this is really professional photography. This is really good professional photography. And then eventually, I want to show you, these pictures are just so full of life and so energized, so lovely. Good posing, good background selection, great light, etc. And now this is the logo that we designed. Yeah, it's gorgeous logo, isn't it? Look, you can see the butterflies like an
very cute.
Esther Brocher. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Very cute.
Gorgeous picture. Just you nailed it, Esther. Absolutely. Big thumbs up to you. Fantastic. Okay, Frady May. I never know how to say it. It's May Teles. Okay, now this lady is very unique in that she's only done 3 classes. She's been in our school for 3 weeks, but I just had to show you this because I think it's out of control. Look at this, was the first class. Okay, with all due respect, not particularly special. Although she's got a good sense of space and a good sense of balance, absolutely. But technically, it's awful and no concept of background whatsoever. Okay, that's just again showing a sense of balance. Like you can see, she's got the eye. She's got no
natural,
yeah, but no concept of the camera. This is not class 2 now. Now she's getting things tight from just hearing, like, you know, my aces for my advice for 1 week. You can see she really took it to heart. Getting already now jumping into Lightroom properly, and this was class, and now into class 3. Look at this.
Brilliant.
Class 3, what she's doing. Amazing.
That's really nice.
Gorgeous, no? These pictures
very, very nice.
3 classes in 3 weeks. Absolutely amazing. So Fred, even though these pictures aren't like the best pictures I've seen in our school, they're not far from it. And in 3 weeks, I'm absolutely shocked. Fantastic. And finally, this is Malky Klein. Okay, again, just to show you where she began, very, very basic. Okay, no concept of composition really, just very basic. And now by the 2nd class already started understing what we had said and started to implement it. Okay, finding more interesting backgrounds, finding the good light, etc. Now really getting clear on the composition, on backgrounds, on light. Okay, creating nice moments as well. And now some really lovely intimate images. She's really understood.
That's so cute.
Gorgeous, very special. Also very special and gorgeous. So well done, Malky, all of you, excellent. And for the people and for the ones of you who I didn't showcase, I apologize, but there's lots of you who are doing really amazing things, and I'm personally inspired by your growth, and I think it's fantastic. So keep up the good work. Okay, jump in. Any questions in the meantime?
So far, nothing. No.
Okay. So let's jump in. We've got a longer slot today, so maybe we can get through everything. What's the time? 10 past. Okay. Okay. Nechama Klein. Okay. Nechama, this is nice. I think the composition is a little sloppy. If I were you, I would walk around this way a little bit, and instead of just having the path kind of randomly finish over here, if you walked around this way, 1 second, is that right? Yeah, if you walked around this way, then this path, instead of just kind of randomly finishing over there, would end up finishing over here. And as we know, then we would have created that kind of dual part of the photograph. So you've got one part, you've got the subject and you've got the background, as opposed to the subject and background kind of mushing in with each other and kind of distracting from each other. That's just on a compositional level. Color-wise, the colors are beautiful. I like the edit that you've added in a lot of exposure over here, which is given a more interesting yellow. You've softened.
She's done really well with 1.8.
Why? What do you mean done well with it? What do you mean?
She's got her picture really nicely in focus.
She nailed the focus, absolutely. 1.8. These stats are perfect. These stats are absolutely, in aperture priority, absolutely perfect. I should have asked everybody that. But yeah, so I also like the way the pink pops out from the green. Okay, red and green are opposite colors. So that's good. But like I said, I would probably have her a little bit closer overall. I would like to see her like a little bit. I'd like to see the composition tightened up a little bit. But like I said, I'd probably want to have the path ending over here. But overall, very well done. Very well done. Okay. This is well done. Yocheved, shooting with a 50D, which is an old camera that we do recommend to start with. So the reason why it's a little bit kind of flat is because of the old camera. That could be very easy.
It's also a bit cloudy. Would it have helped to go to cloud?
It's not an issue with the photo. It's not an issue with the white balance. It's an issue with the actual contrast of the image. It could in Lightroom you could easily do that. There's no problem with the white balance. I think the white balance is fine. This is interesting because I think this actually helps. You wouldn't think so, would you? But this actually gives, in my opinion, that gives some depth to the picture. We've got a lovely pose. Really sophisticated pose. We've got lovely energy moving in this direction. This elbow moves in this direction, but it's dampened by these lines over here, which means it just comes together as a beautiful balance. It's really well balanced. Plus, the light on his face is excellent. That's really, really well done. So, Yocheved, overall, I give you a massive thumbs up. And everybody, let's no, it's not you. It's somebody else. I'm just going to send out a poll. And I want everybody to give me their thoughts on this. Is this, are the stats here good, bad, or perfect? We have a 4,000th of a second, 1.8 at 200 ISO. A 4,000th of a second, 1.8, 200 ISO. Good, bad, or perfect? Okay, guys, don't be shy.
The poll's up.
You see it? You see it, Yocheved?
Oh, yeah, I see it now, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good, 70% perfect. 30%.
Nobody said bad.
No one said bad. Why should they say bad? Oh, someone said bad. No, Yocheved's just trying to fool you.
No, I was teasing. They're
definitely not bad. Good or perfect. So I'm going to stop the poll. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yes, they are absolutely. These stats are perfect. These stats are perfect. You know what? Actually, maybe I go. Why, Yocheved? Why would you say maybe?
Yeah. Is it worth like nitty grittying and dropping your ISO even lower and your shutter speed lower? Is there no point?
Why? Why would that help? In regards to the quality of the image, in my opinion, doesn't make any difference. But why would that be a good idea to go to 100 ISO and to be a 2000 instead of 4000 ISO? Answer is because if you went somewhere where there was more light, at this place, you can only go one more stop up to 8,000 for the second, and then you can't go any further. So if you're at 100 ISO, it gives you a little bit more leeway to be able to get rid of some more light if the picture gets brighter. Do you understand?
If the sun comes out. If
the sun comes out, exactly. And also it's important to remember that a lot of people are shooting with Rebels and 6Ds, like a 6D Mark II, that their maximum speed is 4,000. If your maximum speed is 4,000, you should really be trying to never be at 4,000 because you're maxed out and you won't be able to go. So if you're at 200 ISO and you're 4,000th of a second, that doesn't make sense. Actually, I go back on saying that they're perfect. Basically, they're perfect, but it could be, I think 100 ISO would be a bit better. Okay, this is nice. The crop is beautiful. Gorgeous little girl. Nice and sharp. Stats are perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just the edit is a little bit underwhelming. I think it needs to be a little bit more contrasty. Maybe brighten up the skin and pop the eyes a drop more. Maybe a little bit of clarity in the hair. But as it is, I think for such a striking face, the actual quality of the image is a little bit like I said, a little bit underwhelming. But overall, very good. Okay, now this I think is the opposite. This is. I think we need the
very dynamic.
Exactly, it's too much. Who is this? Daily Inspiration. Okay, so Daily, you have there's a couple of issues. Number one, it's underlit. Okay, which means the light is bouncing from here and coming up here. So it's like a Halloween style. It's not quite as heavy as that, but it's underlit, which is not a good idea. But you've added a lot of clarity, which is not good for skin. So it's kind of, you can see the imperfections of her skin. So clarity is great, but avoid clarity on the skin. So that comes out. It means that don't do a global effect with the clarity. Keep it to local and avoid adding clarity to the skin generally. Okay, I laughed when I saw this. It's cute. It's a lovely idea. Remember, we can never ever take a picture of a baby. Oh, what happened there?
Something happened?
I just my computer's gone blank. That's so strange.
Oh, we can still see you and hear you.
I can believe that, but something happened to my computer. Oh my goodness.
Your screen, maybe.
Yeah. That's so weird. I've never seen this in my life. No. Oh my days, that's terrible.
Well, your webcam's still on, as is your microphone. Well, hello everyone, meanwhile. We apologise for the delay on behalf of Zero to Pro. Everyone's frozen? Shmuel's frozen. Something's happened to his computer. Can you all hear me? I get to talk now. I can say whatever I want. Hi. Yes, no? Hang on a minute. Hi. I'm on there. I'm saying hello to everyone. All right. Shmuel's going to try and come back in 2 minutes. I should keep you all entertained. Hi there. Hi, Khaled. Somebody with the same name as me. It's always funny to say hello to your own name. Tell us a story. I've done story time already. And bedtime. Oh, there he is.
I never saw that in my life before. Wow.
You restarted the whole thing?
My computer just went blank, just froze, died. That's never ever happened before. Oh, sorry about that. 1 second, I need to just pull things back together. Please excuse me, everybody. Hopefully that's going to be our only issues for today. Maybe it's to do with you, Heather, because last time you joined us, there were some issues.
Well, there's these people who are like magnetic a bit, and they can interfere with signals and stuff if they come too close.
I know people like that, yeah.
Really?
I have a friend of mine who's his computer stuff always dies. And I actually have an interesting story. I went to the bank one time in Israel, and the lady there was evil, a horrible woman. 1 second. And she, I can't tell you, she laughed at me when something went wrong that meant that I had to go and do loads of other stuff. And she found it funny. It was the most horrible thing. And I got so angry that my computer stopped working. I had my computer. I'm not joking. And I knew it was because of that. I knew it. And my computer had stopped working. And then I drove home, and I did my whole forgiveness thing and whatever. And I breathed and whatever. I got home and my computer was working again. It was absolutely to do with my this crazy energy that I was putting off.
All right, so I'll give you what's the word, connection energy.
Okay, good. We're back. I hope this works. 1 second. This is so annoying. 1 second. I'm all confused. I need to share my screen.
We were in
yeah, here we go.
Critiquing.
Okay, I think we're back.
Yeah, we're doing the big crime.
I'm sorry about that, everybody. I'm sorry. Hopefully there won't be any more issues. Okay, so what I was saying with this picture, we need to, there's no such thing as taking a picture of a baby without dealing with the skin. Okay, so we definitely need some skin softening here, brightening, taking away a little bit of the red. It's a cute picture. It's a nice idea. In regards to the quality of the graphics, it's not particularly engaging. The you know, the background is a bit distracting. The colors aren't, you know, like bang, but I do appreciate the cuteness of the image. So well done there. Okay, again, so this has been softened a little bit. I think we really need to be thinking about the lighting. The lighting here is really, there is really no lighting. Again, we need to soften it in. We need to take away the red, and I would like to be having some decent light coming maybe from this direction or maybe from above or something like that. But as it is, it just like looks like just flat, very, very boring light. Okay, Esty Sterling, she's one of my favorites. This is great. This is really nice. The edit's a little bit obvious behind him, and also, I mean, this issue here is to have them overlapping. I think it'd be better if you just moved slightly this direction and just having just come a teeny little bit further away from mum in the background. And also, yeah, we could maybe crop in like that. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I would crop like that. I think the edit is a little bit obvious, and I think also maybe we could argue that the family in the background is a little bit blurry. I don't know, maybe not. What do you think, Yocheved?
Not sure. You sort of want them blurry, but maybe not too blurry.
Yeah, you definitely want them blurry, but I don't know if they're too blurry. I'm not sure. You could argue it, but I do think the edit is a little bit obvious. I do think
people are questioning about cutting off his legs.
Yeah, so I mean, look, we can argue both ways. You could keep it like this. The reason why when you cut off the legs it's not a big deal is because of his shorts. That we know that this line here creates blocks so our eye doesn't go down here. So it's not a big deal to crop like that. It's not like wrong, but maybe it's better like this. I still think that this big area, this big empty area here doesn't do us any favors. Okay, but well done. Well done. Okay, this is nice. That's lovely, honey. Good stuff. The composition of the girls is a little bit random. I think it would make sense in my mind if this girl's head was like somewhere over here. Otherwise, it kind of like, I feel like it's kind of heavy.
But too squashed.
On this, yeah, it's heavy on the left side. Heavy on the left side. And it's a shame because it's such it's such a soft, beautiful picture. You've edited it really nicely. You've got a good, good focus. Let's ask again. Let's just run a poll quickly. 1 second. Okay, stats, good, bad, or perfect. Now, bear in mind, very important to keep in mind, that this is an 80D, which is a crop frame camera. Okay, does anybody know why I'm mentioning that? What's the difference of a crop frame camera? Although everyone knows that it means that instead of 50 millimeters, it's going to be 85 millimeters. Everyone knows that, or 80 millimeters. But why did I mention that? Why did I make such a point of that in a picture like this? Yocheved, you got an idea?
It's to do with the aperture.
Yeah.
Affects your aperture.
Absolutely. F2 on an 80 millimeter lens on a crop frame camera is a much longer depth of field than F2 on an 80 millimeter lens. When I said 80, I meant a 50 millimeter lens. That was
right.
It's a much longer depth of field than the equivalent on a full frame camera, and that makes a big difference. So a picture like this, where you can see this little girl in the background, is for sure quite a distance away from this girl in the foreground, so to speak. F2, in my opinion, for this picture would be fine for this camera. So
in a crop sensor.
Yeah, with a crop sensor,
yeah.
I think they're good. I wouldn't say it's better. I would still be at something like maybe 3.2, something like that. But still, you can see she got away with it. It's fine. It's perfect. So well done. Okay, end poll. Good. Okay, so this is another example of an
too much clarity.
Yeah, over clarified. This is too much clarity. Okay. Also, I'm just very much not a fan of kids' profiles. They just look a bit weird. They're not properly formed. So I always avoid kids' profiles. But I think the biggest problem here is the clarity. Okay. This is nice, Frady. Well done. The problem, in my opinion, here is the edit is a little bit unnatural. The colouring on her face needs to be dealt with. I like the sunburst radial filter you've put in there, and I like, to be honest, the artificial feel of this very vibrant green here. It's a great place. Great location that you've scouted. Just I think the what's lost it is that the edit on the face is not very natural. Most elements of a picture you can get away with being unnatural, but people's faces, you can't really get away with unnatural people's faces. Anyway, well done. This is nice, Ellie. It looks like you've got some schmutz on your lens. For all of you who don't speak Yiddish, schmutz is translated as dirt, okay? But schmutz sounds so much nicer than dirt. So there's for sure some schmutz on your lens, and you've been stung by that. The picture itself is nice. I think this leg hanging down isn't doing any favors. I would probably have her like squatting kind of over here, completely in the picture. I think this is a little bit distracting, and I would really try and minimize this kind of muddy feel. And I think that the perspective of this wall kind of works, but the coloring of it is not particularly nice. But overall, I think that's well done. It's good stuff.
Shmuel, they want to know how to clean the lens. Should I tell them the way you clean the lens or the way you should clean the lens?
So I clean the lens using my shirt. It's one of the benefits of having a white cotton shirt. You can just use a tissue. Don't worry about. I wouldn't use lens cleaners generally. Usually, it's enough for a tissue. The truth is, I sometimes actually go like that on my lens. I know people probably kill me for that, but it's like cleaning glasses. I'm just not like a big fan of like all these crazy things. I've been doing it for years. I've never ruined a lens by it, and people are like, like when I decided not to get car insurance, like full car insurance, the shock that I was met with like anything from like what to like, oh my god, like, you know, and I'm just like, okay. And so far, Baruch Hashem, it's been fine. So it's the same with the lenses. If you want to use one of those the UV filters, yeah, that's quite a nice idea. If you're shooting a lot, especially at weddings and stuff, then I would recommend a UV filter, because your lenses do pick up a lot of grime and stuff. And then when they get really icky, which they sometimes do, I used to take it to the sink with soap and like mamash clean it like I was cleaning a dish, and it's fine. So I'm not taking any responsibility for your lenses out there, but that's what I do. Anyway, what I wanted to say about this picture, Batsheva, is this is amazing because you're using an EOS 100, which is like the most basic camera, and this is just gorgeous, just really well shot. It's not with a particularly wide aperture. You've got a lovely balance, the lovely balance of light, and you've got lovely colors in the background.
The sky is really bringing the lines in.
Absolutely. The lines in the sky echo the whacked out angle of the horizon, which is great. These colors in the background add a lot of depth to the picture. Lovely little face, great focus. Beautiful.
Is her face too dark? Should it pop out a bit more?
You could maybe brighten her face a teeny bit, but I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Okay.
That's sweet.
It's very sweet, but I think she's turning the wrong way. She should go this way.
You need the space on the other side, or bring space on the other side.
The rule of having, we know that when you have the image, the energy of the image going straight to the edge of the canvas as opposed to space, creates a very dynamic feel. And I can't think of a less dynamic picture than this. This is just beautiful and passive and just all those lovely, soft, gorgeous words. And it's just the farthest thing from dynamic. So I don't feel that works. I'll show you a good example of a picture, 1 second, that I am just involved in right now. That is a great example of the dynamic feel. Here it is. So this is a great example of when it makes sense to send energy this way. Now, the truth is that he's actually got a very, very beautiful, happy face. It wouldn't have suited him to do like a frowning kind of energized thing, but the energy of the smile, I think, adds something. But we've got such power. Yeah, look at
it's very dynamic.
such huge power with the triangles and the depth and then the grit of everything that we get away with even having a nice smile. And we added extra power by having the energy go and get stuck over here. So overall, this just becomes a very, very powerful picture. But for this picture, like I said, I would flip around, but otherwise the edit's beautiful. I can't see the stats, but we've got a lovely depth of field. I'd maybe get rid of little things like that, but very well done. Well done. Okay. I like the light here.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought.
Yeah, but this is very distracting. And I think like you're in a bit of a difficult situation because really this is where the picture's at. All of this is awesome. Yeah. And everything else is just really mediocre. So what's happened, because you've got this really awesome graphic that's only really taking up 15% of the frame, 18% of the frame, you've kind of lost the beauty of the picture because it's just getting swallowed by all this mediocreness. So I do appreciate the potential of this picture, but it didn't work out so well. Okay. This needs a lot of work on this picture. I think
you want landscape.
Yeah, definitely landscape.
It's too peaceful.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely landscape. No question about that. We need a lot. We need them to be brightened up a lot. And yeah, really, that needs a lot of work there. Okay, Georgie. Okay, this is cute. To have a backlight so strong is a little bit dangerous, or I'd actually say a lot dangerous. And you've been stung by it a bit because the contrast of this image has been really like compromised. 1 second, sorry. But you could have fixed that in Lightroom. I think we could have done. I think you could have found some really like more interesting graphics than just this little bit of triangle over there. If you put her close to the chairs, then you could have created a really like strong dynamic feel. And she's definitely dressed like, so that would lend itself to that, I think. Okay.
Cool.
Nitsa. It's cool.
Got the guy in the background.
It's not really like, there's nothing to
drowning in his alcohol.
It's like it's like one of those pictures where you look at like what you just said. You said cool, and then you look at it and you're like, well, what is there really to look at? Graphically, it could definitely have a more contrast and be more punchy. But pictures like this really need to have some kind of reason to look at it, because the graphics are good. You've got the reflections and the interesting shapes and the textures on the water and the wine and stuff like that. But then you just see this like random guy in the background, as opposed to if he was like looking into the camera doing something like wacky, that would really make the picture. Okay.
So we're on 35.
Oh wow, we didn't do very well, did we, for time?
No, we had a little break in the middle.
Yeah. So okay, I'm going to go a little bit longer. Right. So this kind of picture either needs to be shot in RAW or with a massive amount of flash. You cannot take this picture either way. You need RAW or flash. This picture can't.
Unless you get into silhouette and make it your silhouette picture.
Very good. Yeah, absolutely.
Make it a silhouette.
Either a silhouette or RAW or flash, or RAW and flash together might be a good idea as well. But yeah, so the potential's there, but as it is, it didn't really come through. Maybe if we put you can't really do it in Picasso.
No,
I do appreciate.
What is it? The quality of light in Picasso is not the same compared to Lightroom.
Picasso, in my opinion, is there for ordering your pictures and cropping, and that's it. Nothing else. This is energized. This has got good energy, Julia. I would definitely go black and white with this picture. I think we could do a great black and white edit here. I'll tell you why, because it's a very powerful picture, but the color palette is not like, it's very rare that you get a color palette that's like, but this color palette here is definitely not bang. But the look on this kid's face is really intense. So this is the image that would really lend itself to a black and white. Okay, but well done. Okay. Oh, hi, Maria. Okay. What a lovely looking family. What I would do is, the issue here is little boy in the background.
Getting hidden.
Yeah, exactly. So mum, I'm assuming this is mum, she needs to come a little bit further out. Her head is too cocked over as well. So she basically will it will fix everything. If she moves over a little bit and straightens her head a drop, then we can have little boy in the background, not little boy, but the guy in the background will have a little bit more space. He should come up a little bit higher. But it's a big problem having like a little head in the background. He becomes very, he just becomes not part of the picture. So I would also, she's a little bit far away, but she's less of a problem than he is.
I would have put him there in between Dad and the girl.
To move him over here.
Yeah.
I think Dad's too big for that. I think she would end up being too, that space would be distracting. I think, maybe I can see it, but that's what I would think. Okay. Now this, although it's a nice look between the kids, that is very, very distracting. Okay. Not a fan of a big anchor in the background. I wonder if there's ever been a picture before where somebody got distracted by an anchor in the background. I mean, I'm sure people took pictures here before, but otherwise, I definitely like the expressions here, but not that has to be.
You could just crop it out.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, that makes a difference. Yeah, good. Okay, this is nice. Simi. I would still think about cropping. I would do something like that for a crop. Actually, that's a bit too much, I think. 1 second. I think I'd crop a little bit more like that. Okay, that's nice. I like the textures of the wall contrasted to the textures of the background there with the colors. I think that works well. I think this is called a two-tone background, where you've got two levels of background. We've got that style and that style, and you've split it down the middle over here, which makes sense. Overall, I think that's well done. The light on their faces is not particularly flattering. That would be very difficult to deal with.
The left one is nice.
Yeah, very. That's true. This is nice, but he's the focus, and he isn't lit very flatteringly. A flash would help you there, but to use a flash in this picture would be quite complicated, I think. Okay, bad background. The picture's nice, Razor, but this background just doesn't make sense. It's just ugly. So this is gorgeous. So cash in on backgrounds like this. Be very careful about what kind of graphics you allow into your pictures. Just like what kind of media you allow into your house. Be careful about the graphics in your pictures. Okay. Like this again, I mean, it depends context wise. If she's working for the BBC or something like that, and it's an editorial picture, that's great. If she's not connected to the BBC, then that's completely random, and it doesn't really make sense. This kind of picture, I would be in very close with a very wide angle and trying to really like pull out energy. As it is, it's a little bit kind of not soft, like a little bit weak. It's not like powerful. I mean, you've got these kind of buildings in the background. It makes sense to bring out power. I've got 1 sec.
Yeah, also she's sitting on the stairs. It's very relaxing, but then the buildings are sort of these power. You want standing or jumping or
100%. I think if I remember correctly, I've got a couple of pictures here that will show you I've just got a random portfolio on my desktop. So this picture here is the idea of using strong graphics of a building. Okay, but I had some really good examples, I think, if I remember correctly. Here we go. So this is using buildings like really close, and I'm zoomed out as much as I can. Ideally, she should probably be over here, but I was taking this picture as she was walking across the street, so it wasn't so straightforward. And again, like really using like the lines of the image, getting in close, zooming out, and I had a lot of flash in there as well. So that's how I'd be using buildings like that in the background. It's a slightly different subject as well, but okay, where are we holding? 9:40. Let's just quickly flick through if there's anything I see. This is nice. This needs a lot of work. Make sure to get the faces as close as possible, and be careful about all this horrible light splashing on people's faces. Be careful. That's cute. That's lovely. That's well done. Nice flash picture there. Okay. Overexposed. Be careful with your exposure. That's a bit too red. Beautiful. Yecheved. Excellent.
These are real flowers?
I have no idea, but that's a really lovely picture.
Wow.
It looks like it. It really does look like it. It's gorgeous. Be careful with your logo like this. It just I don't see the point of it. I would just have a very small little logo over here because it really distracts from the gorgeousness of the picture. I think I would also probably go panoramic with this a little bit. Something a little bit more like that.
That's very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Careful with your white balance here. Careful with these dudes in the background. Okay, that's nice. Brighten up the face a little bit. Be careful not to get an overexposed background like that, but definitely brighten up the face. That's cute, but be careful, things like that in the background. Always get your subject far from the background, which will mean that your background won't be as distracting as it is here. Okay, out of focus, but a nice moment. Weird coloring. Maybe that could be to do with my be to do with my Picasso. Okay, brighten up a little bit as well, but that's nice. That's good. There's some lovely qualities there with the colors and the depth in that picture. So well done. That's definitely too red. Just be careful. Okay.
That's sweet.
I don't know. So Michael, you've been uploading this. You uploaded this picture like 3 or 4 times, I think. So why on earth? Why do this thing?
Is it a painting?
No, it's it's a photograph with some kind of filter applied. I'm not
a painting effect.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that personally. I'd like to be able to see what's going on. I definitely appreciate the colors and stuff. I'm assuming that's a Swarovski, yeah. Okay, that's beautiful. I would come a little bit around this way because you've got too much green here and too much white like there, so it's a little bit heavy on this side. If you just moved around this way a teeny little bit, and then that would reduce this part here, and it would add the green would start overlapping. Do you understand what I'm saying, Yocheved? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
It's about framing, which you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we'll see if we get
getting that frame.
Exactly. Being super what's the word? Super
sensitive.
Accurate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Precise.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are going to go into some editing. Okay, first things first, I want to just put a picture up and ask people to vote on this picture. So does everybody see this? Oh, I need to create a quick thing. Just if you'll bear with me, everybody, for one moment. I'm going to do a quick thing here. So 1 second. 1, 3, 4, 5, 7 and 9. Okay, so I've just sent out a poll. What I'm going to do not right now, but after we do some Lightroom, I'm going to go through a few. I've just picked out six shots of mine that I like a lot. I think we can learn something from. And I just want to get an order because we're not going to get through all of them. And we're going to go through the process. We've done this before. I'm going to go through the process of how I did it. And then I actually want to edit a couple of them to show you how I edited it as well. So if you can just give a selection of which one you like the most. And then that will give us the order.
Have you opened the poll up?
No, now I'm going to do it. I just published it now. And that will give us the order of how to approach them. So, because we're not going to do all of them. We're going to open that for a few minutes or for a minute. And so just place your order. And then when we get to it, Yocheved will
We've got one in the lead.
Yeah, one's killing it for sure. One's one of my favorite pictures.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's very special. You'll be amazed when you actually see the original picture. You won't believe what that was.
Did you envision that as you were taking this is what I'm going to do to it? Or afterwards you looked at it?
We'll see. I didn't think it was going to come out quite like it came out, to be honest, after Lightroom. But it was a joke what it looked like in the picture. It was a joke.
Wow.
We've
got 1 followed by 9.
Yeah.
4.
Okay, we're going to close the poll in another moment. So just finish off there, and then Lightroom edits. Okay, 3, 2, 1, end. Okay, you have just quickly take a note of what
1947, then 5 tie-in for last.
Great. Okay. What's next? Okay, so we are going to going into light now. I chose this picture. Someone shot this picture in the school last week, and I just wanted to show you. This is a great example. Oh, Lightroom has to open up because I shut my computer down. This is a great example to see the versatility of JPEG that no one knows about, because no one shoots in JPEG, so no one actually knows how versatile JPEG actually is. I'm also just going to put up another offer for 1 second of the masterclass. Anybody who's interested in the masterclass, we're offering a 50% 24-hour deal, as we usually do, but don't forget that after this we've got a month without a webinar, so there's not going to be any deals until then. So I would jump on it if I were you. As usual, anybody, just give them a heads up from the masterclass. Anybody who's making a decision, just tell them if you're in it how amazing it is, please. Okay, so first thing I wanted to do is just show you this picture and to show you how far you can really go in Lightroom. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to bring down the highlights. Okay, now immediately the water just pops right out. Okay, the sky is not going to get that much better than that without using some kind of filter. But anyway, that's okay. Now we want to open up the shadows because these guys have gotten too dark. So we're just going to raise that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to bring up some vibrance just to make the picture a little deeper. Okay, look, wow, it's amazing though. That's
pretty good.
Yeah, it annoys me so much how no one knows how good JPEG is. Anyway, I'm just going to use a little bit of my brush here to just add a teeny little bit of brightness to their faces. Okay, and a little bit of clarity as well, just to keep us in there. In regards to the sky, now I don't think it's going to get much.
Can we just cut the sky off?
Yeah, you could, but let's just by way of demonstration, for sure you could. I'm going to use my radial tool, my gradient tool, and I'm just going to see what I can do if I can bring a little bit of color back. I'm not sure if I can. This is the one place where a raw picture might have some more leeway, but I don't know if it would particularly.
Why'd you say might? The raw wouldn't save the blue there?
Not.
It's limited.
I'm not absolutely sure. If it could be that you'd have to underexpose even more to have gotten the blue out of the sky. So you can see
you can even burn out on raw.
100%. And in fact, I find that's it's much more limited than people actually think. That, in my opinion. So I don't think that's very good, to be honest. Let's just. I don't think I would go. I think
it's emphasizing the treetops, making them look weird.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna delete that. We're gonna leave it as it is, and like you said, we could just crop a little bit off at the top there. Okay, but just to show you where we went from to look at that from that to that, and that was with hardly any local adjustments. Basically, we did that. Just a little bit of local there. I'm just going to finish it off with a slight vignette as always. And that's our picture. Okay, we went from here to here in JPEG. I just thought I'd show you that because I thought that's really interesting. Can you warm up the pic? I can. I don't think we need to.
I think that blue is so lovely. You don't want to ruin it.
Maybe no. I think adding 5 points of temperature. I think worked fine. But isn't that amazing? Isn't that like surprising? Could people please just give me a heads up if they think they are if they find
I'm impressed.
Surprising how they're surprised how versatile a JPEG is. Just give me surprised or not surprised. I would appreciate to see what people say. I think that's surprising personally. Okay, let's bring up another picture. 1 second. Yes,
amazing, so cool.
Yeah, there was a picture here that really was shouting. Oh, let's do this one here. Let's turn this into a really powerful black and white.
Yeah, JPEG.
Raw, yes. We're talking JPEG versus RAW, exactly. Surprised. Thank you. It's so annoying for me how this RAW thing is like just taken everyone over. And now, like, what's going on with video, it's like, why like anyway, okay, let's just tell you now what I was talking about. This is a great example of Freddie. I'm not surprised. Okay, Freddie, that's fine.
Yeah.
Know that from Sean already. Okay.
It's once you only learn from you, it's automatic.
What?
If you've only learned something from you and that's your main style, so then it's not surprising.
I hear. I just wanted to just pull in on this picture because Julia's taken this picture. And this is a great example when there's a lot of energy in the subject, but color is not particularly energized. So your picture is not as energized as it could be. So I'm just going to show you quickly. We're going to go black and white immediately. We're going to bang up the exposure, the contrast, as we always do. Going to open up the shadows a little bit, and then the real magic takes place with the clarity. Now, like I said before, the clarity makes the skin gritty and horrible. However, in this case, I actually think it works. I'm going to open up the black sateen a little bit. Okay, now I think I'm going to crop in closer. Remember, cropping in also gives us intimacy and intensity. I think I'm cropping a little bit further like that.
Yeah, I like that one better.
That hand is annoying because I'd really like to go like that, but I can't crop that hand off. So I'm going to crop like that. Okay, I'm going to use my brush tool here to just brighten up his face a little bit. Okay. Just a drum. I'm going to add some more clarity as well. That's looking good. Now I'm going to create another pin. I don't think we need to make the eyes any brighter.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, we don't need to do any iris enhancement, but I do want to just remove a little bit of that darkness over here. Maybe we'll do that with the shadows. There we go. Okay, and now finally, what am I going to do now? Obviously.
Vignette.
Absolutely. Vignette distracts us from the edges of the frame, which means we end up concentrating on the picture. Just look how powerful that picture is.
It's like this picture's a story now.
That picture is from National Geographic. That's straight out of the page of National Geographic. Look at the difference. Can everybody see the difference?
Julia wants a copy of this edit.
I'm going to do that. Okay, Julia, I'll help you. Do me a favor, send me an email, yeah? And I'll send it to you. 1 second. You got my email, yeah? smalldiamond@gmail.com. Send me an email, I'll send it to you. But yeah, so let's just have a look again. Again, just look up. I saw that picture.
It's telling a story now.
Energy. There's such energy. And right, we know that the most important part of what are the 2 rules of Lightroom, the 2 most important guiding principles of
Exaggerate what you've got.
Number 1, yeah. So number 1 is emphasize the subject. And number 2 is go further, which is like what you just said, which means if you've got an energized image, make it more energized. Go to the nth degree. And this is just a perfect example of where that was just moving with energy, but it was being held back by the passive coloring. So get rid of the coloring.
All the girls don't like the gritty cheeks.
Well, I do.
He's not a soft little baby. It's
he's
style.
like a soft little baby. No. 100%. Okay, what's the time? 56. Okay, well, we're going to get into our workshop. What was the first picture we needed to look at? You have it?
Number 1.
Number 1. Okay, so I've ordered these pictures. Let's just like this. So this is the picture. Okay, I think it's the second image on my website.
Stunning.
Which means that I really, really love it, and I really do. Again, it was shot in JPEG, okay, as about 97% of my pictures are. It's using a lot of flash, a big heavy flash, And who wants to see what this looked like out of camera? This is what it looked like out of camera. That was the picture from the camera.
Wow.
Okay. From that.
You see it's there, but you had to be able to.
Exactly. So this girl had a very sophisticated, awesome look, and I really wanted to make use of it. So look, this is the progression of pictures. So I just put this one because now it begins. Okay. So I wanted to make use of her eyes, and I thought, how do we exaggerate the eyes or how do we emphasize the eyes by de-emphasizing everything else? So I thought, let's just use the veil. We can get rid of all the other features and concentrate on the eyes. Then I thought, okay, let's go further now. If I put a huge amount of light over here, then I can even distract
everything else,
even from the other eye. You with me? So that's what I did. So this was me now concentrating not even on the eyes. I now honed in on one eye. And that was this is, I think, the actual shot. And then we tried a few more options. I tried now getting the two eyes. I tried what would happen if I got her to look in a different direction. Okay. Again, thinking about energy. And I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. I've got a good idea of the rules. So I'm just playing around to see what happens. Okay. This, I think, could also be made into a very special picture, actually. Maybe, you know what, maybe should we make that one into a special picture?
Just keep an eye on your timeline. We're at 10 o'clock.
Also, this is also quite a nice option as well.
That one's nice, yeah, it's softer.
Yeah, not as powerful as that. And then we're finished. So to just show you where we went with the edit, should I do this or should I edit the other one? I'm going to try and edit this really quickly to try and get it back to what it's very difficult to try and edit to a picture that you've already edited.
Yeah.
I find that very difficult. Like you begin like, oh, how could I ever do that? But let's have a try. So first things first, this picture is super, super powerful. Okay. It's completely dynamic. And so one of the keys to having a dynamic picture is by cropping as a panoramic. That adds a lot of dynamic tension to the picture. Okay.
Even though it's so landscape, you'd have thought like the more horizontal you've got, the calmer it is.
Yeah. So no, you're right. That there is the rule of horizontal lines gives you that like feeling of relaxation, but the concept of a panoramic adds the actual
shape.
The whacked out
ratio
adds a dynamic feel as well. So I'm going to immediately, first things first, is we're just going to do a skin soften that we know is -50 and -25, and just quickly go around here. Okay. And just see how quickly this will take shape. It's very quite a simple edit. Okay. Now I'm just going to go into my iris enhance. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, this is obviously what this picture is all about. It's all about her eye. Now, that's a little bit heavy, so I'm going to just drop that down a little bit. Drop down the highlights there, a drop. Okay, and now what I really want to do by honing in on the eye, I want to hone in on the eye.
De-emphasize everything else.
Exactly. I'm just going to drop the highlights a little bit down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my brush tool. Well, let's first see what happens with the vignette. Let's just see it. Let's see if we can do it easily. So the vignette isn't helping us so much. So I'm going to leave the vignette for right now. What I'm going to use my brush tool. Now, what I'm going to do, this is a really, really nice trick to know about, is I'm going to drop my flow to 50. Okay, and I'm going to drop my exposure to -2. Now, because I'm at 50, I'm now going to have super control. If I was at 100% flow, when I click there, it's immediately black. Now that means I can't control things very well. Whereas if I'm at 50, I can kind of massage my effect in. You with me?
Yeah.
You never knew that before?
I think you mentioned it in the class, but since I never really used it much, I lost it.
Yeah, so it's a very good.
Yeah, it's so much more subtle.
Absolutely. I lost it a little bit there. So I'm going to actually go to erase. I'm going to erase in the same way with the 50. There we go. I need to do a bit more of a skin soften, to be honest.
Just duplicate what you've got.
So I might not even duplicate, just drop down even further. There we go. It needs to be darker. Let me just see my original. See, I knew it's, look how much darker that is. Much darker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would go a little bit further still. 1 second. No, not this one. This one. And just take it lower and lower and lower and darker and darker and darker. And we can't get it back to how good the other one is, I don't think. It's still lacking the other one, isn't it? Let's just have a look. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something.
Maybe I did the skin. I think I did the skin softening Lightroom in Photoshop. Okay. Anyway, I knew that was going to happen. Okay. Right. What was the next one?
Number 9.
Number 9. Okay, I like this picture. So this is the.
I'm just saying we are behind time.
Okay, so we'll finish this. We'll do this one.
Okay.
And that's. Yeah. Okay, we'll finish with this one. Okay, so this is a wedding that we shot in Chicago at the beginning of last year for my friend Tom Beton. This is the other side. The one thing that's a little bit off here is just he isn't perfectly centered in the middle. It's not really a big deal, to be honest. Very important. I mean, they're a very stylish family, so I went for a very stylized, very powerful pose. I've got the 2 boys on either side. We've got these leading lines actually are very important, and the whole thing is based on these leading lines of this path here with these
and the ceiling, amazing,
the triangle in that direction. As well. We've created these 4 kind of how do you say kitot? 4 like
groups.
4 groups, thank you. And then put the chassan, the groom, in the middle. We brought him further forward. It's basically about as stylized as a picture of a family gets, and plus they really pulled it off, everyone with their poses. So I just
it doesn't look overdone.
No, it really doesn't.
It looks very elegant.
This is a great example of a pose that really suits the family. Okay, you got like quirky families where you can do like funny, quirky stuff, and you got really sophisticated looking families where you can pull pictures like this off. Like my family, we could never pull this picture off. Me and my 2 sisters and my mum and dad would never pull this off. But anyway, so it's very
not your kids either.
No, definitely not. Sit with their payers and their to see the style of the family and pose them accordingly, and then lighting as well and all the other bits and pieces that go along with it. This was the original. It's not too much different. We just added some light.
Exposure.
We just brightened the picture up a little bit just to show you what we got. So we started here. Okay, and this is me moving. Immediately I got them pretty much posed. We're very underexposed. Remember, everybody, a really important thing is that when you are in a dark situation, there's a tendency to underexpose. And when you're in a bright situation, there's a tendency to overexpose. Reason is that when our pupil dilates and contracts, our pupil has like our eye is an aperture, which allows more light or less light. When you're in a bright situation, your pupil contracts, means it lets in a little bit of light. So when you look at the screen on the back of your camera, it appears to be darker than it actually is. So what happens is we overcompensate and we make the picture too bright. Okay, so when we're in a bright situation, the tendency is to overexpose. When we're in a dark situation, our pupil dilates, which means the back of the screen looks brighter than it actually is, which means we have a tendency to underexpose. We overcompensate and underexpose. And that's exactly what happened here. So look, do you see as well? He's like smiling, and I was like, no, don't smile. No smiling.
Yeah.
Just look at the camera. No smiling. That's the difference what the flash made. Okay. And that was the shot, and we pulled out a really powerful image from that. Okay. Onward. Any questions from anyone in the meantime?
So fun. I think everyone's impressed.
Watching, that's great.
Enjoying.
Okay, so I made a presentation. Backgrounds. So I'm just going to quickly flick through these background. This is like the power insights of the backgrounds. We're not going to get into framing. I'll probably say framing for next week. But we're just going to go through these power insights of backgrounds. Okay. Distracting things in the background. Yeah. Get rid of that 100%. Okay. Look at this. Can anybody see the difference between these two pictures?
Wow. Yeah.
What's the difference here, Heather?
He's popping out because of the black.
Exactly. Look at the difference.
His head.
He
just blends into the rock.
Isn't that an amazing difference?
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a beautiful. Can you continue to take out images? Yeah, the one great shot to the
maybe
clock.
at the end.
In regards to
of that setup, then
of that setup, I would probably give one great shot and then maybe a black and white. Like I'd probably give two of that same picture, but I'd make one black and white and one regular. I wouldn't give like loads. Be careful not to do that. Okay, again, this is the same idea of having your subject pop out from the background. Okay, again, the same idea. She's covered by the dark bush in the background. Okay, and again, here, this I did in Lightroom, that this was the original picture.
Very good.
And by adding some light there, we get them to pop out.
Saved it a bit.
Another good example of bad background. Look at the difference by having having the kid a little bit lower in. It means we've got separation again. Okay, and this is a nice example of the difference between the sun in the background. Sun and no sun. Look at the difference between the sun popping in and out of the clouds.
Wow.
Okay? Again, the same idea, exactly the same idea. Very, very important. I can't stress how important it is to have your subjects popping out from the background. Okay? This is an example where, although they're popping out from the background, this overexposed background is not a good idea.
It's not as pretty.
Yeah, exactly. But an overexposed background, like we know, is a bad idea. Again, this is just a good example of when you've got ugly graphics, you have an ugly picture. So look at that. Get rid of it. Okay, that is ugly and that is distracting. So just bump in a bunch of, just do a quick clone tool and done, and then get rid of that as well. And we'll end up with a really nice shot.
Yeah.
Okay. And this was.
And then everyone tries to copy the location, and no one can find where's the spot with only greenery.
Yeah, they're like, man, my spot's got that like bald spot in it. Anyway, and then we've got this idea. This was somebody's picture from a couple of weeks ago, just showing you look how ugly this path is. And
yes, that's right. I remember.
Going down lower, we minimize the ugliness of the path, and we bring up the beauty of the picture. And now this is just an amazing example. This is the final image that I show in my class, the art of photography. That if you don't have it, it's a really good idea to get it. You can buy it. 1 second. I'm sure by now probably everyone's got it anyway. I'm just going to put this up.
You can do the green in Lightroom, Percy, with the clone.
Just this is the culmination of that class, the art of photography, which really gives you some very deep insights into how it all works. But look at the difference between this picture and this picture. This picture, the guy looks like a nice old man, and this picture, he looks like a sinister kind of, I don't want to say, but that's all to do with the backgrounds, okay? That was just an example.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay, let's get it. So clean. I'm going to try and go through this really quickly, but I think there's a lot of it's going to be helpful for everybody. So clean, classic backgrounds, keeping clean and just non-distracting. That's the beauty of having a very wide aperture, very shallow depth of field. Okay, and this is very vibrant at the same time. This is becoming. It's still quite clean, although it's got a lot of energy to it. Okay, the same idea again. This is just using a very vibrant, very wide aperture, which keeps things very clean. This is very just good classic photography that your business is going to be built on. Okay, the same idea here as well. You should be aware. The truth is they just demolished this area, but this little area here is such a teeny weeny little area. You can't imagine.
Great.
Like literally just over here is the main road. Literally like over here, you'll be seeing buses and stuff like that. So it's amazing the kind of, if you're very tight with your cropping, you can turn small areas into perfect backgrounds. Okay, and I only really realized this kind of when I was making this presentation, the amount that I use leading lines. It is insane. Leading lines basically is referring to these kind of triangular shapes that are created through perspective, through paths and things like that. but I was never aware of how much I use leading lines. It's quite amazing, the energy that leading lines add, and how when you look through my pictures, it's just like I said, it's amazing how many images I have with leading lines. This is just a drop. Heaven, what just annoys me so much about this picture every time I look at it?
The lights are off on the right.
No.
His rim light is off, the back flash.
No. I can't even, you know what the truth is? I can't even look at this picture anymore.
You haven't got their profiles lit up.
No. Look, they're not centered in this.
Ah, that center. But they're not popping out so much to see that.
Yeah, so but it would be better if they were a little bit more over there.
Then the light would pick them up more.
There's no question. They should be absolutely centered there. Every time I look at this picture, I get like pain in my neck, and I like get tense, whatever.
Want to push them over?
It's like, move. Anyway, okay, these are just all examples of leading lines again, over and over and over. These leading lines, it's so important to cash in on leading lines. Even these kinds of pictures, these are also leading lines. Everything to do with leading lines. It's amazing how many of my pictures are to do with leading lines, really. So that's something we really need to find. Now, this is a great example of busy backgrounds, okay? But busy backgrounds that are so busy, you end up not looking at the background at all, like these, okay? So because they're so busy, they actually end up
They become a graphic in the picture. They become a point of interest as well.
Yeah, but they're not distracting. It's not like you've got like something in the background that's distracting.
Like a lamppost.
Exactly. The busyness becomes so kind of overwhelming for your mind that you just see it as it's just you're really concentrating on the subject, and the background is giving you the energy of the experience, so to speak. So all of these pictures are the same idea. And this is love. This is really a nothing place. You know, it's in the middle of Ramat Gan, in the middle of the city, and you get down low, and when you've got a big flash, you can do a bunch of stuff as well. I'd probably end up cropping that off a little bit more. And this is this lady was an artist, and I just made use of the energy from the picture. Okay, and again, the same idea. Okay, next thing, matching the background to the subject. This is a really nice thought. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so when you've got certain graphics, I'll show you the great. This is a great example. Okay, Heather, do you see what's going on here?
Yeah, it's a slick, cool picture with a cool guy, and you've got the 3D-ness of the cool silver lines, and it all goes very well. Absolutely.
The look at his hair. Look at that slick, very, very sophisticated hair, and then this pattern over here as well. Do you see? And I've lit it in a way that this pattern is really, it's not the same graphic, but it's the same feel. Excuse me. Oh, don't want to do that. It's the same feel as him. So this is a great example of matching the background to the subject. Again,
he wouldn't work well with like a soft bokeh rose bush in the background.
Exactly, and this background wouldn't work well with a big cheesy smile, like hi.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. Exactly. Again, this is on a very graphical level. I saw these kind of white things, and I said to the bride, quickly, do that, and we tried to squeeze that out as well. I think that worked well. Okay, very dynamic, energized kind of pose that goes with the power of the sky. Okay, very soft and delicate with like the bokeh, like what you just mentioned before. Okay, we saw this one. That's for sure a very romantic, powerful picture, and loads of. I added all of this. All of this is completely added.
Yeah, I remember there was no white light there.
No. Oh, you were at this wedding?
Very dark. Yeah.
Yeah. These were part of the stage, but this kind of like starburst from behind was completely from Photoshop. Okay, again with a very powerful sky, we get these nice looking kids to give it a little bit of aggression, as much as they could. Okay, and then we've softened. We've used a very soft feel here that goes with the very like soft rolling hills in the background. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just a really important thing to know about, is the color of the background makes such a difference. Okay. Again, these are ideas that we really get into in the art of photography class that you can grab now for literally, that's like $27, it's half price. But yeah, if this color was like green, it would be a completely different picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this was just in the midday, so we just added this very kind of lovely pink to it. This was just a bright desert day, literally. Okay, these colors here can all, I mean, this kind of fencing is an absolute no-no, like a never, ever, ever. But because the colors were so profound, so powerful, we kind of got away with it.
You hardly even see the fence because your eye is just on the flowers.
Exactly. And plus,
very distracting.
In the body moving us over here. So I do like this picture, even though this kind of fence generally is an absolute no-no.
Would you clone it out by adding more pink in? Or
you could do that. I mean, I didn't. So, but you could do. It wouldn't be too much of a job to do that, to be honest.
Or would it be too much pink? I mean,
we could see that very quickly. Let's do that. One second, take a second. When it comes up, we'll do. Also, this is just to pay attention to the colors in the background here. Again, this kind of picture, when you've got the red in the background, light him accordingly. Okay, we've written him in a very powerful kind of
not with flat white light.
Exactly, it's a very dynamic, deep, sophisticated kind of light. Again, the same idea: power with the pose and power with the background. Same idea here. Okay, and then again as well, that's a beautiful. Again, this is also a JPEG picture as well. Let me just quickly show you how I would attempt this. I think people might appreciate this. Very quickly, I would use my clone tool, and I'll make my brush a bit bigger. And I'm just going to see if I can do this super quickly. Oh, do you want to do that one? Excuse me. And that's it. That's a little bit. You could probably do a little bit better than that, to be honest. But you could do that. I think maybe the truth is now I feel it's gotten a little bit too much. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, heavy.
Yeah. Don't know. Okay.
I'd maybe do a little bit. Half.
Yeah. I agree with you. Okay, onward. Empty space. Now this is
the brush. Yeah. No, sorry, I was just answering a question.
Okay. So these aren't my pictures. These are pictures from a guy called Jim Garner, who retired from wedding photography years ago. But they're actually quite old. But he was a master of using these massive backgrounds and just cropping, leaving huge amounts of space. And it's a very powerful way of doing it. The way that I describe how these pictures work is we're not looking at this. No one cares about this, okay? We're looking at this, okay? But what's happening is all of this red with these vertical lines are doing something to you. The way I describe it is they're creating like a place in your heart. Like they kind of create a hole, like a receptacle in your heart, and then the image kind of drops in. So it's a completely different experience. So whatever red does, whatever vertical lines do, whatever these kinds of textures and whatever
subconsciously setting your tone.
Exactly. Whether you discuss this in the art of photography, all this stuff, I think we actually talk about this picture specifically. But the point is that the way these pictures work is that all of this creates the kind of the receptacle for how you're going to experience. They, so to speak, create the glasses, the spectacles of how you're going to look at the picture. It makes a very big difference. It's a great skill to try and hone. Okay, this is just another.
Is that the same as the negative space concept, or negative space is only Mamish white?
No. That is called negative space.
This is negative space.
That's just extreme negative space. Usually you don't leave so much negative space. Negative space basically means, for example, in this picture, this is the positive space. Okay, that's our subject. You would probably call this neutral space, and then you would call this negative space. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so this is just another idea of background using family or people in the background. Okay, so creating a background from the subjects. okay, or creating the foreground from the subjects, okay. This is something that you should also be using. This is a technique that as a portrait photographer, you should be using regularly, really regularly. You've seen this same kind of image. This picture is very much dependent on making sure that our subjects are never bleed into each other. There always needs to be space.
Or the background.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone needs a little space. Okay, same idea. This picture, although I think it's beautiful, it's annoying. That really annoys me every time I look at it. If he was like here, if Dad was just over there, that would be much better. Yeah. Same idea here. Same idea. These kind of images are like the bread and butter of my photos. Really important. They make people just feel so, they're just so special because it's a picture of him, but it's got context. So this could really, you know, this could really make it up on a wall somewhere. Okay. Artificial backgrounds. I haven't got so many examples of this that I could find, but I do this a lot. Which means I actually use Flash to create the background. This picture without Flash is literally nothing. It's literally like you'll see a little bit of texture over there. Otherwise, it's just completely flat. Okay. Now this was just, I created this in just writing it up in post. Okay. Now this is just something that I do regularly for weddings is I'll put a flash in the background to just add that little bit of depth to the picture. I do that very regularly. Okay, again, you see the difference here. Okay, and this was actually the flash in the background, I think adds quite a lot to this picture. Not only does it add this lovely rim to everybody, but it's also just gives a point of interest in the background that you don't really look at because it's just so boring, but it adds a lot of energy. That's what I was thinking. Okay, surprise focus. This is a nice idea. It's just adds some humor to the shoot, in my opinion. I like that kind of stuff. It makes people laugh when they're looking through the portfolio. Are they ever going to print a picture like this? I would imagine not. But in the portfolio,
it makes the mum smile.
Exactly, you get a smile. It just adds a little bit more of a dynamic flavor of a joke to the portfolio. Everyone loves to smile. So to here, like you're looking, this is obviously a picture of her, but he's there in the background. I got loads of. I just chose 3 of them. I've got literally loads and loads of pictures.
Yeah.
Like this. Okay, and now this is another interesting idea: is actually making a feature of the background and turning the subject into a kind of by the way thought. So I really do like this picture. It's an interesting thing going on here, and
this is something that would appeal to the photographer and less to the client.
It depends. You're absolutely.
It's an artistic.
Absolutely, but don't forget, you've got a lot of clients who it's sophisticated artistic. It's not just like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's interesting. It's like funny. It's funny. It's a surprise. And I know that this girl put this in her album. I think this is a shot. This was an interesting idea. That I had my couple dancing over and I put a flash over here.
You don't even see them because our pictures are blocking them.
Exactly. So there's a little flash down here. So I actually made their shadow on the wall and I actually moved. This was, I think, like over here, and I just moved it in Photoshop so over here. So that's another idea. And then again, a picture like this, if it's relevant in the background, this makes sense to people. This really makes sense to people. Yeah. So again, it just shows that you're a really thinking photographer and you're really like going outside of just like the normal stuff that people do. Okay, and this is another thing that I love to do is random people in pictures. Okay, not like we saw in the images earlier.
Yeah, the 2 guys in the background.
Yeah, we're talking about actually like this. Yeah, this is a random.
I remember
guy,
that.
Yeah, and just quickly snap the picture. Yeah, the good truth is this guy's like out of control, whatever. Again, a random guy driving past on the bike. They didn't choose this picture, but I like this picture. Again, this is a lovely, a random moment. Dad looks a bit funny, but still just a great. Again, it's actually in the exact same place. But another moment.
That's a brilliant spot.
another random. Again, it's just showing that you're thinking and that you know what I'm saying. Yeah. What do people think about that idea? Let go and just put your heads up. Everyone agrees that adds it adds such a nice kind of feel to the portfolio. It's not silly.
It's an element of fun without being like too over the top.
Exactly. So look, I did get a load of really amazing framing pictures. We're going to leave framing for next month. Okay. Okay. So
You've got 4 minutes. I'll preempt you. They're going to ask you to finish the critiquing.
Oh yeah. Should we answer some questions in the meantime? I said we're going to answer some questions. So we'll answer some questions. We'll go for another 10 minutes or so. Okay.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing? What did you say we heard?
We've done the first question, no?
Did we?
Slightly differently worded, but we did talk about it last time.
Oh, yeah.
Order straight, and then afterwards.
Say again.
We said get your order straight, parents, kids, and then afterwards you can sort of have fun.
I think I'll say it again because I think it's very important. Do you prepare a list of poses for a photo shoot? Oh no. So wait, no. So this is a different thing. If you do you bring it with you and keep referencing it? And how would you create this list? So I wanted to. This isn't that question. There is.
Right.
But
they're all shouting. Please do critiquing and not questions and answers.
Oh, you know what? I'm here for you guys. 1 second. Let's just. Oh no! 1 second.
We've got about 15 at least.
Well, yeah, but maybe others. 1 second. Q and A's.
We're doing a poll.
Yeah. Okay.
Esther, framing's going to be next month. You won't lose it.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Give me what you want, and we'll do what you want. We'll go for another 10 minutes. Oh wow. Oh, Q&A is 100%. Critique 33%.
Well, that's only one person's filled in.
Okay. Easy. Oh, it's even. I knew.
Wow.
Oh no, critiques.
So the Q&As. Everyone only gets 1 vote.
Yeah. 70% critique. 76%.
75. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go towards Q&As. Oh, shame. You know what I might even do is if I get a minute over the next next week or so is to go through the Q&As in a different time and answer them up and just send it out as a random video maybe.
That'd be nice. People would like that.
Okay, we'll go back to critique for 10 minutes. But I'm just going to answer this one question here because this is okay. So I always say to people, do not give me a list. Do not bring a list. What the problem with a list is it breaks the flow, it breaks the energies. So you're like, okay, bar mitzvah boy, okay, click. Okay, bar mitzvah boy and mother. Okay, I wouldn't have thought of that one. You guys come in. Okay, mum out, dad and bar mitzvah boy. I wouldn't have done that one. And you're going through like 20 things and you're like, I would have done all of these pictures. So all it's doing is you've just broken your energy. Whereas you're like, okay, the bar mitzvah boy say, okay, mum jump in. 1 second, click. Okay, dad come in as well. Okay, mum jump out. Dad squeeze, give her a hug. Okay, kids, everyone jump in. And if you do it naturally, it's just incomparable. So what I say to people, I think this is a really good piece of advice, is if you've got like at an event or something, if you've got like any weird combinations like Auntie Barbara came in from Santa Cruz and you've got Uncle Jim who came in, whatever, have it jotted down on a little piece of paper, a couple of those weird combinations that I'm never going to get. And just remember, but otherwise don't give me, bar mitzvah boy and mum, bar mitzvah boy, mum and dad, bar mitzvah boy, dad, bar mitzvah boy, this one. Now, don't do that.
You lose the option of being spontaneous and grabbing the moment.
And family portraits are boring enough. So if you want to shoot yourself in the foot even further and make it even more boring, then create a list. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do? When I get a minute, maybe by the end of the week, I will go through a bunch of questions and I will record them and I will send it out to everybody. That means I'm not promising.
Everyone, they're very happy.
Okay, and in the meantime, we will do a little bit more critiquing. Where are we holding? Where did we get to?
Exactly. Further. Yeah, we did that. We just looked at that. You were up to that baby with the pom-pom and the safe.
I went through these quickly, didn't I? So we spoke about this one. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the coloring is off on my computer or if this is just ugly coloring, but the composition, there is no composition here at all. This thing in the background, this tree in the background. Why did that happen? That's weird. Strange. So this tree in the background really distracts us. We've got little kids' faces going that way and energy that way. And there's just so much wasted space. There's really no composition here at all. It's difficult to actually squeeze a composition out of this, because that tree is really causing some issues. It's funny, isn't it, that you wouldn't think so?
Yeah, because it is subtle. Maybe if you just drop the exposure there a bit, so your eye.
You definitely darken that. That would definitely help. But I like the light, and the stats are quite good. Quite good. Should be at 1.8, I think. Although with the Mark II, it's quite difficult to get focused.
I don't know. For a baby, they move so much.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. But also on the 5D Mark II, to be shooting at 1.8 is very difficult. Like the focusing in the 5D Mark II is really bad. The 5D Mark II is a massive improvement. Massive. This is gorgeous. I saw this picture just recently, Hindi, I think today or whatever. I gave you a big heads up. It's gorgeous. I don't like the depth of field here. It could have been wider, although we said, I don't know what would have happened. But you were saying you were having issues with your focusing. So as it is, I think it's great. The coloring is gorgeous. The composition is perfect. You can maybe slither a teeny bit off the right side. But it's just really, really good, intelligent, sensitive photography. Well done, Hindi. Good stuff. Okay. So who's this? Leia. I would come around a little bit further this way. And create a little bit more space here and get rid of a little bit of room over there. I don't think we need that room over there. I don't think that's helping us really. We've got enough like gorgeousness as it is. So I would think I would crop in a teeny bit more. Something like that. But like I said, if you had moved around a teeny bit further, created a little bit distance.
You maximize the green instead of the grey.
Yeah, she would move over this way, and I think the balance would be a little bit stronger. As it is, it's a teeny weeny little bit heavy on the left side. That's just, I'm being super, super picky here. But otherwise, the picture is really very, very beautiful. The light on her face is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
Really lovely, a lovely moment. Really well done, Leia. Excellent, excellent. Okay, definitely need to go through and cover out these blemishes. But the light on the kid's face is just terrible anyway. You've cropped in really nicely, but it's rare that we are using direct sunlight on our subject's face. It really is rare.
Especially for a kid.
Yeah, it's rare. It's really rare, especially when the sun is quite high. Although it's not that high, you can see it's coming down. But also, especially with such skin, with such blemishes, it really pulls them out. So it's not a good idea at all. Not a good idea at all. That's nice and soft. Stats, in my opinion, are very good. Could be 200 ISO at 400th of a second, but you've cropped in beautifully. You've done really well with the focus. Lovely, strong, solid picture. Good stuff, S. Halpern. Okay. Mindy, we need more vibrance. We need a little bit more contrast. We need to open up the shadows, but you've cropped in really well. And stats, everyone, good, bad, or perfect? Absolutely.
Perfect.
Yeah, spot on. Well done. On 1 second, let me just pop up my offer again. Remove offer, and then this is now all of the courses. You can click on here and buy away. Please don't hold back. Just spend as you wish. Don't ask your husbands. Don't ask your parents. I'm just joking. Anyway, this could be really nice. As it is, it needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work, but there's a lot of like sophisticated energy here. A lot of strong dynamic vertical lines with the strong leading lines as well. Like I said, with a strong black and white edit, this could really pop out, but it really needs to be taken into Lightroom. Okay, but well done. Okay, this is nice. It definitely should be warmed up, cropped in a little bit closer. I would probably get down a little bit lower. It's a shame because she's so small, but I don't think you could really do much more with this. See, the sun's going to be too high up. it's one of those pictures which is just
an hour or two later in the day would be a different picture.
Exactly, or not an hour. I think probably but an hour and 2 hours it would probably be gone.
Yeah.
An hour that would make a big difference. But it definitely, I would add a huge amount of warmth to this in Lightroom personally. But nice, really nice pose. I love the way you've kind of kinked her leg. I don't know if you did that on purpose or she did that, but that's definitely a nice thing to do. Onward. Okay, more contrast. Definitely more contrast. Cropping a little closer. Sorry, not quite. You've cropped in close enough, but more contrast. It's a very flat image and really no expression at all. So I'm not so into that. Okay, this is great. I think it's a little bright. His face is a little bit bright, in my opinion. It's very interesting actually because you've got strong energy in that direction, but you've got this huge.
The hair really is a presence.
Huge, yeah. That's a great word for it. Huge presence. So you've got this tremendous energy over here.
It's clarity
in that direction, absolutely. So yeah. I think it was really. I think it's great. And I'm sure this picture is important. The hair as well. So I think it's great.
Is it too much? Don't you want the hair sort of looking a little bit softer?
Yeah, I hear you, but I think for this picture, with the intense energy, it's just a very intense picture, which is weird because it's a gorgeous little boy.
Yeah.
But I hear you.
Somehow it works.
I quite like the energy, to be honest, but I hear you loud and clear. Okay. So this is nice. It's a little bit, the black and white is a little bit soft. I'll tell you my thoughts on spot color or color spot, whatever they say, is it needs to be a bit more. It's a little bit small. So I remember I took a picture and I sent it to this amazing photographer. There's these people called Two Man Photography. It's called, one second, I'll write it here, twoman.com, I think. Is it Two Man, or maybe it's actually twoman.com. No, I think it's not that. I think it's this. Does everyone see that? Did it pop up?
Yeah, it was this couple. You showed us their work once.
They are out of control. Wow. So I sent her a few pictures of mine, and one of them was a spot color, and she like destroyed it. She was like, it's so tacky and so out of date and so unstylish, and like, so she kind of polluted me to that. So I didn't do it after that. So it's fine, but definitely I would go a little bit more powerful on the black and white. Okay, this definitely needs more
contrast.
Very, very flat. Those eyes look like they're going to like bounce out. So I would go all out on contrast here. As it is, it's very, very flat, so it doesn't really work. But it is a lovely balance and it's beautifully cropped in. And the stats are a little bit wacky, to be honest. You don't need to be at 2,500. You could be at like 1,000 and have a slightly slower shutter speed. Okay, but there's not much of a composition here. I would crop in a bit like this. See, she's looking up, so
you need the space above.
You do need the space above it. I'll probably crop like that. I think that's quite nice. Definitely more contrast, soften her skin. This could be taken, not more contrast, and more vibrance. This could be taken to a few new levels in Lightroom. Okay, that's gorgeous. That's well done. Okay, that for me is a little bit distracting. I would like this little baby the little kid to just be just a couple of inches lower down. Stats. 60 Mark II. Okay, we're going to do one more poll and we're going to finish off. Good, bad, or perfect. We have got a 250th of a second at f2.2 at a 125 ISO. What do people think? Good, bad, or perfect? Any takers? Any thoughts on that one? There we go. Perfect.
Done.
Yeah, good, perfect. No one's hit bad. 50-50. Okay, perfect is in the lead. So I'll tell you, my thoughts are a 2.2.
It's risky.
It's 2.2 is not a good idea for a pose like this. Even though you're quite far away, we can see, I mean, it's definitely okay. No one's going to complain about this picture. I would be shooting this picture at more something like 3.5. That's a real, I think it's really like, I definitely wouldn't say bad, but anyway, that's a real, that shows a real professional when you can, what's the word, resist the widest aperture. It's very difficult. It's really, really difficult. But it's definitely better to have everyone pin sharp and a slightly sharper background than the other option. But the actual pose here, I think, is fantastic. Lovely energies moving in. Remember, the key to family portraiture is nearly always having energies moving in. And we've got 5 more pictures. Let's just quickly look at these. Okay, very out of focus. Shutter speed is a disaster. These stats, Henny, these stats are not good, okay? I don't know if you're in the masterclass, but if you're not, you should come. And if you are, you should keep doing the classes because these stats are not correct at all. And the reason why this picture is so, although it could have been such a beautiful picture, but because the stats are so off, you've kind of lost it, okay? That's gorgeous. That's really well done. Perfect stats. Who's that? Batia. Perfect stats. Gorgeous background. Really good, solid photography there. Gorgeous, bold triangle. Wonderful. Okay. This is also nice. Good stats. Nahami, this is well done. I think I would like to crop in, to be honest, a little bit more. I think she's got a little bit small. I think I'll probably do something a little bit more like that. Something like that. Okay, that's good. He can be brightened up a little bit, but nice one, Tammy. Otherwise, lovely crop. I think a little bit more room on the left side. Okay, kind of a weird crop.
Like, yeah, we want a bit more off the top and a bit more on the bottom.
Yeah, I would be tempted to say that, but maybe, as it is, I'm not into it. But what could work? Let me just see this. We're well over time. I'm sorry if you if you want to jump.
You've got 1 picture left. It's the mine.
If you want to jump, oh yeah. If you want to jump out, you can. But I think that I would probably end up cropping. Now that you've done this already, I think I would do something like this. And let me just fill in the background. I suppose you can just do it. I'm just going to do it roughly by going like this. Control T and then press Shift. Pull that up, Control D, and then over here, Control T. I just did that roughly. I'd probably do that with a clone tool, to be honest. But I might be tempted to do some kind of crop like that, maybe. I think that's maybe a little too much. See, the regular way to do this, the most obvious way to do this would obviously be to crop in something like that. And you know what, I would go with that.
That's better, yeah.
It's a bit boring. It's like a bit like classic. It looked like you were really doing something out of the box there, Hannah Mindy. But I think in the end I would just go with that, with what I just did there. Okay. And finally, save the best to last. Yocheved, this is your picture. So I'm going to be really honest. Okay. Yep. And I think that the pose is great. This arm should not be bent. Should be bent a teeny little bit. Very, very rare that we use straight arms. But what really throws me off this picture is this post box.
All too distracting.
Yeah, that whole area there is really, really distracting. Really distracting. When you want a strong silhouette, you really need to make sure there's nothing else pulling away. It's all about the
stairs. The whole left would be all right, though.
That's okay. That's not a big deal. Yeah. Going off into the background, but I think this area, this picture, all I could see was like a post box and a step over here, and then I was like, oh, and look, there's right over here. It wasn't quite as strong. Anyway, well done. Okay, everybody, that was it.
We're 15 minutes over.
That's fine. Okay, guys. So well done. And as always, it's a pleasure. I hope that was everyone enjoyed that. I will send you out links to the replay. And like I say to everybody, it's just we're because my photography business basically closed down because of Corona. We're running off the school. That's how I'm like supporting my family, B'ezrat Hashem. So any you could spread the word and just bring in your friends and family and whatever, and just it's, as it's a really good course, and we really we guarantee results, and we get results literally every single time. So if you could come through, we come through for you. If you could come through for us and just send our name to as many people as you can, would love that. And thank you, Yocheved, for being fantastic. You really added a lot, I feel.
Welcome, thank you.
Rivka, I don't know, is Rivka still here?
I think so.
She was typing away in the background, so thank you, Rivka. And Joe, we missed you. Otherwise,
what's her baby's name?
Her baby is called Annie Rose.
Oh,
very cute. And
like Alfie and Annie Rose.
And yeah, exactly. We sent her those books. And what was I going to say? And yeah, we'll send everybody a link. The next webinar, like I said, is going to be in a month from now. And please go, we'll have a good time then. Otherwise, peace out and all the best.